Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This is one of mine, actually. Yeah, I've gone to ladder recently. Got a few games out of it. It's kind of nice. I haven't played on ladder in a while. I don't tend to much, honestly. But yeah, I want to make it a habit again, because I like doing my own games, you know, playing around my own things. Obviously, community cards are great. Keep sending those in. Love you guys. But still, you know, it's nice to do my own games every now and then. You know, it's why I started channel in the first place. So yeah, I want to get back to it a bit more. So here you can see Gore herds in the front line. I'm against Chaos, by the way. So I wasn't going to go Ungor Spears because they just don't match up well against sort of Chaos Warriors and things. I needed something a little bit better. I need something that could at least get through Marauders really nice and quickly and get some damage in to more expensive units. I also got the AP and the mass in the back here with all my Razor Gore herds. Honestly, these guys are so underrated. I just don't understand people. They keep saying Razor Gores are rubbish. I never see Beastmen players use them, but God, you can just make your front line so much more valuable, and they're not even that expensive, but it just makes all your front lines so much better if they can't get bowled over by cavalry. You know, it creates a brilliant roadblock that nothing can just push through. That's the thing, unless you go with all Bestigors, stuff's just going to get knocked over. Bestigor's just going to get cycle charged to death anyway against Cav, so, you know, it's nice to have that mass. Anyway, also here, Beast Lord. I always go with the Beast Lord because I love it. It's great. The Horn of the First Beast, huge melee attack buff, 55 meter range is pretty huge, and also another 40 meter plus 26 melee attack on Apocalyptic Vision, super useful, and you can get a lot of work done on that chariot. Armor piercing, anti-infantry, great for running down Chaos Warriors. I mean, even halberds, if you don't stick in that fight for long, you can get in and out, do a ton of work. Also, I decided to bring some Razor Gore chariots as well, because I never bring them. I thought they'd be fun to bring, and, you know, armor piercing, anti-infantry rather, really good, 100 armor. Love him, love him. And also, if he's got Shaggoths and things, he's going to want to get on top of these guys. And that means I can focus him down. I can get on top of them nice and easily. Because I also have a Brave Shaman of Shadows, so I'll have a load of melee attack buffs of my own, along with a load of debuffs, Enfeebling Foe, lowering melee attack and defense. Also, Melkos Mystifiant Miasma for the slows, because I kind of expected some Marauder Horsemasters. And, well, I got him. I got him. There's 4 units right here. So I've got a couple of Tentacles of Throwing Axe. I don't often bring them, but if there's a lot of terror causing units, is nice stand at a distance and kill them. But they're also really good in melee. They'll be great at chasing down Marauder Horsemasters. Tends to be, these units are quite evenly pitched, so it's whoever gets the charge off. So if he decides to run away from me, I'm basically going to benefit, and otherwise it's the other way around. So, you know, really high missile damage, though, as you can see on the Horsemasters. So it is tough. It is tough. So also, way over here, yep, I have 2 Centicles with great weapons and a unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison, so rather nice to have them too. So more Horsemasters over there, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty brutal, huh? Pretty brutal. So my piggies are chasing these guys a bit. These guys are getting chased. So a ton of Horsemasters. He's got 3 Marauders in the front, and in the back he's got 3 units of Chaos Warriors with great weapons. These guys they'll get through Bestigors and things pretty happily. He's also got the Swords of Chaos. You never see the Swords of Chaos. Ever. You just never see them. But they're actually pretty great. Apocalyptic Charge is pretty fun there, and Guardian is super useful. But yeah, this is actually pretty great, because allies in range. Enemy presence in ability range, but it's map wide. But ability range is 70 meters. So what's happening here? I don't even know, but hey, it's fun. Whatever. So Swords of Chaos, pretty great. You don't often see them, though. You really don't. And it tends to be because other cav will just mess them up. They're a very small unit. Things like a Fate of Buna would just melt them. But I actually think they're pretty good against Beastmen. You know, get a lot of very good cycle charging on things like Bestigors and the like, and they are very good at that because they do have armor piercing, which is something that a lot of cav doesn't have. So it is good to see these guys in action. Small model counts, but yeah, they can put some work in. Also, Archaon the Everchosen. Yay, Archaon. Don't often see him either. But Law of Fire, very handy. Fireball, great for trying to snipe out lords, especially Morga, but I didn't bring Morga. And also has Cascading Fire Cloak to up his stats, which is really nice. So, running back and forth a bit. Yep. So told my my main group, my main front line, the Razor Gores and the Gore herd, to start charging into the front line. I've got my Razor Gore chariots sort of waiting for a point to go into. Looks like I do run past Archaon here. Start moving him around, start moving these guys in. And in the back here, I'm going to obviously have to move my Brave Shaman out of the way. And my Sentinels and Throwing Axes still loitering back here. I'm finding positions, trying to work out where his Marauder Horsemaster are going. I do send one unit of piggies after these guys, because as you can see, they seem to all be in skirmish modes. They're all just running the hell away. It's keeping them away from me, and that's enough. Now, Sentinels and Throwing Axes, I'm charging in to chase them down, and honestly, I think that was a mistake for me. But I just wanted to wrap this up, and then I could outlive the ammunition from them, to be honest, with the amount of gore herd I could have. So here, I do have Enfeebling Foe on Archaon. He has used Stand or Die to keep his melee defense up, though, but it doesn't mean his melee attack is going to be a bit lower. And I've used Hall of the First Beast on all my guys to put up melee attack, so Archaon is really struggling, which is pretty great for me. Exalted Hero doing a little bit better, though. Swords of Chaos are in here, and they're keeping the Razor Gore Chariot pinned down a bit, but the Razor Gore Chariot is doing well, killing a lot of the infantry. I've been trying to pull him out. Sentinels are great weapons. They're now charging in to get some damage in. And I did use Occam's Mind Razor on them because I wanted them to get into the Swords of Chaos and get some work done. Because, yeah, I really want to hurt these guys. Really do. So here you can see the Chaos Warriors with great weapons are charging in, so I'm countering them with the Centaurs and getting my Centaurs of Throwing Axes out of there. So trying to get my Throwing Axes to hit these Swords of Chaos, but yeah, they're no pushover. They're going to take some hits. So Razor Gores are in there with their armor piercing too, and another Enfeebling Foe. But he does the Cascading Fire Cloak, so once again I'm just lowering his melee attack, but I'm not lowering his melee defense, which is sad. It means my Razor Gores aren't going to get more damage in, but I have buffed their melee attack, so that's pretty great. It's still not brilliant, but not half bad. Archaon is definitely struggling here. Also, Beast Lord, he's loitering. I'm going to find a position for him in a second. And here, Tentacles with Throwing Axes somehow ran in. I'm not sure what happened there. But the Sentinels are great weapons need to pull out, because in prolonged combat they're going to suffer a lot of losses. They were in there far too long. So over here I'm pushing for Archaon. So I've got my Razor Gore Chariots in here, causing a mischief for these great weapons, which is rather nice. I'm not zipping them in and out as much as I'd like to, but in the forest it's kind of difficult to do that. So here I managed to block in the Marauder Horsemaster with my Gore Herds, and I use an Enfeebling Foe. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma to get some damage into the Swords of Chaos. It's not huge, but it stops him being able to retreat and back up Archaon, which is all I really want to stop him doing. So Cascading Fire Cloak on him is going to make it very difficult to hurt these guys. 85 melee defense is ridiculous, but that's not going to help against axes, and I'm still getting axes in here, pretty much sacrificing my Sentinels and great weapons to push these guys off again, but it buys me time to get rid of these units. You can see here, my Razor Gore Chariot did take a fireball to the face, which is a bit sad, but it meant it wasn't my lords that took it, so that's alright. So Archaon is running off, 150 health, but I can't chase him down. I keep getting hooked on units. Look at that, I keep getting stuck on my own chariot, so the Brave Shaman is going to give up chasing him now and get into here. Beast Lord charging into the rear of these Swords of Chaos, and they are super injured now, which is wonderful news for me. But look at this, all the Marauder Horsemasters are coming out, so I'm pushing the Tentacles out of the way, up and around. I'm pulling these units in to get on top of them, and I will be Melkothing one of them, which will be very handy, help catch them out. But yeah, not a great route through with these Tentacles. I'm amazed they didn't take more damage, but I've got some caught up, and Brave Shaman and the Beast Lord are chasing them down. I've got my Gore Herd pushing in as well. And over here you can see the Exalted Hero, just from fighting Gore Herd and Razor Gore all day, is super hurt. He is super hurt, but sadly there's a lot of other units coming in, and a nice rear charge of these Marauder Horsemasters is going to really help lower leadership here, which sucks because the Exalted Hero's leadership just dropped. And yeah, if I was able to keep fighting him, maybe I could have broken him. So pushed off one of the unit of Marauder Horsemaster. There's another one here, and you can see the Chaos Warriors' great weapons are now charging back in. Marauder Horsemaster's trying to keep me bogged down, or am I keeping them bogged down? It's very hard to tell. All the cavalry got pretty mixed up there, which is great for me, to be honest. It means my Gore Herd can get some damage in to these units, very lightly armoured units. So another Melkoths on those Marauder Horsemasters, and I'm charging in with the Sentinels of Throwing Axes again. And my two chariots, the Beast Lord and the Brave Shaman of Shadows, are making short work of these Chaos Warriors' great weapons. But they are reforming lines here. He's got the Swords of Chaos back, he's got Archaon here, the Exalted Hero still going, he's got a load of Marauders and a load of Marauder Horsemasters. One is actually out of ammunition, the rest have tons left. Anyway, I'm pushing in, getting into all of these units. He's obviously going to try and countercharge with the Swords of Chaos, but I'm just going to pull out, let them keep chasing, because I'm going to be doing damage to all this infantry just as I'm escaping, which is pretty great. Gore Herd charging in to bog this stuff down a bit, get some damage into the Marauders, and it buys me time to catch out this Exalted Hero on his own, which is very, very nice indeed. Over-chased there. So now I'm going to chase him. Cascading Fire Cloak has been used to try and keep him going, but it's too late for him. It is too late. That is too much on top of him there. Marauder Horsemaster's trying to chase now. And you see the Gore Herd are keeping all this infantry busy. So Marauder Horsemasters, they're pushing in and trying to keep out of the way. That's fine. Mostly infantry left. The only thing with mass left over here is Archaon, because the cavalry is too far this way. He needs this cavalry to be charging in to block in my Beast Lord and Bray Shaman, but I'm just not giving him the chance. So now I'm running through his infantry again, and they're suffering more damage. These Marauder Horsemasters have almost had it. Archaon is nearly dead. Just one hit on him would be great, but nope, nope. Army losses starts to kick in, and that is enough to shatter the army. Pyrrhic victory. Hooray! I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Gold piggies, doing me proud. But yeah, I wasn't quite expecting this many Horsemasters. But it's not a bad shout, because there are so many great damage dealers that the Beastmen have that have terrible armor. Just awful, and it tends to be a lot of their armor-piercing units, you know? So things like Centaurs with great weapons, brilliant, but not a lot of armor. They're going to really suffer against things like Horsemasters. Those javelins do a ton of damage, so Centaurs really suffer there. You know, for real hard-hitting stuff, like Minotaurs, again, huge targets and not enough armor to withstand all this. But just going with piggies, I've just got a load of cheap AP, which is super useful. I mean, you see they didn't get a huge amount of kills, but they did some good damage. I mean, I had a couple of units bogging down Archaon for ages, and he got completely decimated in that initial engagement, which is pretty great. Another unit was fighting the Exalted Hero for ages. I mean, these are cheap units. They're 500 each, so they're great. Those are 550. 550 each. Was it 5? Mine's gone blank. Either way, they're dirt cheap. I don't even think about their price. I just get them because they're great. They're piggies. Love them. You know, Razorgore Chariot actually did some nice work there. You know, that was some Marauders, sure, but it was also quite a few Chaos Warriors. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about how they did. Goreherd, they did fine. And, yeah, a ton of kills from each of my heroes there. And they were able to finish a lot of units off. The amount of buffs from my Beast Lord, it just meant that all these guys were performing. As usual, that's how I roll. And the Bray Shaman could keep cancelling out. Well, I guess they were cancelling each other out, right? Enfeebling Foe for Cascading Fire Cloak. Enfeebling Foe is more expensive, though. But it, you know, it lowers 2 stats. Cascading Fire Cloak only ups the 1 stat, so his melee attack was always lower. Couldn't really duel very happily there. Melkoth, super useful for catching out some of these guys, but they did put a lot of work in. They put an awful lot of work in. It was pretty scary. But, yeah, luckily, my army just held long enough. My leadership had enough health at the end, because I wasn't really having to commit them to any fight that would have been dangerous for them. And even if he did have things like Shaggoths or Dragon Ogres, it would have been tough to get through all the mass of the army. It would have been very tough indeed. They would have taken a lot of unnecessary damage to, you know, things like Centaurs, and they couldn't just push through my lines to get on top of the valuable stuff. And that's why piggies are so good. That's the end of my essay, guys. Oh, one last brag, actually, because I haven't played on ladder in ages. So, yeah, I wasn't sure quite where I'd be. I'm in the top 400 now. I'm on like 350 or something. And I think a lot of it was down to this fight, because I saw this guy in the leaderboard. He's at rank 70 or something. And that was after our match, so I dread to think what would have happened to someone, you know, ranked 400. Beating someone in the top 100. He probably lost a lot of places. Sorry, Moose Warlord. Sorry. I don't know the name, though. I don't recognise the name. Most of the guys in the top 100 you recognise from tournaments and things, but this guy I don't recognise, which, you know, could be an alias or something. So, hi, Moose Warlord, if you're watching this. And, sorry. Piggies OP. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.